Broadcasting live from the Business RadioX studios in Atlanta, Georgia, it's time for High Velocity Radio.
Lee Cantor here with Katie Galley, another episode of High Velocity Radio. Got a full house.
Yeah, we do.
Feel better, more centered now that there's PR people in the room?
Yes, I feel better.
Because earlier
as
today,
lost.
the first time in months, there was not one PR person. It was just the guests.
Yeah.
It never happens.
It's
first
super
time.
rare for that to happen.
But on today's show, it's an exciting show, an important show. We got with us Terrence Hight from The Hight Effect. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Can you share a little bit about The Hight Effect? How are you serving folks?
Yeah, absolutely. So what The Hight Effect is a strategy and operations consulting firm. We help working adults and small businesses take cost-efficient steps towards building their businesses. So you can think of us as the business setup team, essentially.
So now how'd you get into this line of work?
All right. So I've been working with businesses since really my whole life, but more formally around the age of 20. I started my first, which was a record label, and it failed. Then worked with a couple more in between, started another business, a healthcare software company, did it for a year, raised money, still failed. So I said, all these businesses.
Did they fail, or these are just learning opportunities?
Learning opportunities, and I guess that's the point of it. Yeah. But there was a study on Bloomberg that says 8 out of 10 businesses fail within the first 18 months, and I said, how can I address that? So I, went to school, got an executive MBA from Kennesaw State University, and I came back and said, how can I help these entrepreneurs? So let's focus on the education and the enterprise, and help them by educating the entrepreneurs, giving them the business acumen skills and the intellect skills needed, as well as helping them with the infrastructure and the execution through the enterprise consulting piece.
So now, do they come to you before they're ready to go, or after they've had some hardship?
So it would depend. Some people come to us with the idea. So we have something on our website called the Idea Calculator, where you can narrow down your ideas. So people come to us at that phase, all the way up to have small businesses that we work with that are already operating that haven't validated their business model.
Oh, so they're operating, but they don't know if their business model is going to work?
Correct.
Do you see that a lot?
I do. Yeah. So we have the business model calculator. We call it the motel analysis is something we do. When we evaluate the market, operational, technical, and legal aspects of the business. We bring in various resources there, attorneys, technical experts, and that way we can validate the business model and tell them, help them predict a long-term sustainability.
Now, do you see mistakes that entrepreneurs make over and over?
Absolutely. No separation between their business and personal finances. That's one of the biggest things. Not filing taxes correctly, not keeping up with their books. Operational issues. Again, a lot of times the business model is not sound, so they're going to have to continue to raise money because they're not making any money off of the products, the operations of the business. So and they don't realize that.
So now, how do you kind of see if they have a viable idea or not?
Well, with the motel analysis, which we call it, we sit with them maybe about a 1 to 2 hour process, and we say, okay, give us your idea, give us your chaos essentially, and let us structure it for you. And then we look at industry standards, best practices, and then provide them with a detailed report. Again, with myself doing the operations piece, we have a marketing individual, attorney doing the legal piece, and then a technical individual doing the technical piece. And we put all those together in a document and say, here you go, and this is how you can execute it.
Now, do you sit down with them? You're all in one room together and you have this big brainstorming conversation?
So we do. And we come together, take a ton of notes. We have a pre-engagement assessment, as we call it, that they fill out prior to meeting with us.
So now, can you share some of your success stories? Some person that you've helped take to the next level?
Absolutely. So one of the biggest was actually one of our first clients called Golden Barbie Hair. So they provide 100% human hair extensions for all races, which is rare that you see one company provide hair like that. But he came to me initially several months in, very successful. Literally selling it out of his car and just selling it how he could. And we said, let's structure this business. Let's get you a website up, the marketing plan, et cetera. We did that. It's been right at 9 months, and he's going to be in his first store here in the coming month up in Kennesaw. So that's very, very exciting, huge deal there.
So now, how is it different for you where you've had your own businesses that you were kind of the service product, whatever it is, and now here you are as kind of a tool for other business people? Has that been a difficult shift for you?
It hasn't. I realized that I'm in love with the process of building businesses, and that's essentially what it is. And so I say, let me stay in that area, which is the business building phase, and help really instill the fundamentals to the different business owners that I meet.
And then once they get going, then do you kind of step back, or is this something where you have an ongoing relationship?
Right. So it would depend on the business owner. The next phase after the motel analysis, after we validated the business models, we get them a business plan because we truly believe in having a plan and knowing where you're going. So at that point, that's an extensive process there. After that, we can go into the marketing strategy piece, which is another 2 to 3 months that we can help them, and we can help them with the execution. Then on the back end, if they're at the point of wanting full-time consulting with and execution help, that's when we come in, take an equity stake in the business, and then help them execute the entire business strategy and marketing plan.
Have you had any clients that asked for that yet?
Yes. So actually, the Golden Barbie hair, we're actually in discussions with them about an equity deal, and they've had us on retainer since they started after they got the website, because they were like, we absolutely want to do that.
So now for you, how do you get in front of business owners? Because it seems like there's a lot of them out there, but
Right.
it's hard to find the ones that are a right fit.
It is, absolutely. So a lot of social media marketing, we've actually found a lot of benefit in it. Even though the social media marketing is more so B2C, that's typically who we're marketing to with are customers who haven't yet built a business,
Right.
so it's not B2B. So that way, speaking engagements, I speak at Georgia State University and Kennesaw State University regularly, and I've actually had businesses come out of there. An intern came out of Kennesaw State University, so various ways.
So now when you're speaking, is your sweet spot, you think, the young entrepreneur that's just kind of inexperienced?
Well, with that, we've kind of just leveraged the, visibility of that. And we know that, entrepreneurship is a big thing now. So for those people, that's kind of like that long-term investment. Other than that, though, the social media piece, we found, our target demographic are, middle-aged, working-class people. So we're able to make our advertisements geared towards them on Facebook and Instagram, LinkedIn, et cetera. And that's how we've been able to really...
And are they doing it kind of as a side hustle, or is it kind of all in yet?
Yeah, so that's really what we say is we help turn your side hustle into a legitimate business. And that's I would say maybe 40 to 50% of our business. And then the other half is the established businesses that are already out there operating.
Now, how do you feel the Atlanta business kind of community is? Are you pretty bullish about it, or?
Absolutely. I mean, it's a tremendous market, especially in the tech space, the healthcare space, for women, minority women. There's so many incubators, accelerators, and resources around. Angel investors are everywhere, private lenders are everywhere. I mean, Atlanta is the place to start businesses, I think.
Now, as part of your service, do you help them get funding? Like if they need to get a loan, do you help them get their paperwork in place, things like that?
We do. So we have relationships with various private lenders. We kind of go on that route versus the traditional banks, because it's a lot harder for startup businesses
Right.
to get money. So through the private lenders, we help them with loans. And then through the relationships I made in 2016 when I was pitching to investors, we have the relationships with angel investors there.
And then, so you help them with the money part of it. You help them get their idea fleshed out.
Yes.
And then you help them roll it out. So
Yes.
like if they need marketing automation or website design, you have resources that help them as well.
Absolutely. And what we've done is we built strategic partnerships where the website individual, for instance, is under our company, right? So we're not the ones doing it. We're really finding the expert for them.
Right.
The same thing with the funding, the marketing people. We have digital marketing strategists, digital marketing companies that we work with.
So that they're not your firm, but they're partners.
Correct.
Or preferred vendors or
Essentially.
something.
Yeah, they essentially white label their services under us. So yeah.
Now, are most of your clients here in the metro area, or you have them all over the world?
All over, really. We're all over Georgia as of now. But ironically, from my hometown, Rome, Georgia, I've had several clients come out of there. So actually,
That's where you're from.
That's
So
where I'm from, yeah.
And then how did the relationship with Kennesaw start?
Through grad school. So I went through the executive MBA program
Right.
in 2016.
But is that the executive, you physically go there, or is that something that's done?
No, so you physically go on a Saturday and Sunday, 8 hours for
Wow.
18 months. Yes. So it's 100% in the class. Amazing experience.
So you enjoyed that?
Absolutely. I'm on the Executive MBA Alumni Advisory Council, so I advocate for the Executive MBA program. So if anybody's listening out there and wants an Executive MBA, hey, go to KSU.
How did you choose that amongst all the other ones that are out there?
So funny, I was going to go to law school. I initially majored in political science, going to go to law school, and said, no, I don't want to do this. I built all these businesses. I'm going to
Right.
go get a business degree. I looked at various programs and ended up having on a certain suit that day and a certain tie from a good friend of mine that worked at Wells Fargo. And I said, I'm going to go to that info session. I went, got an interview, and got accepted into the program.
And then the program was very hands-on, like you're doing things
Absolutely.
that are real, not kind of theoretical.
Right. And it was a neat experience for me because I was, I believe, amongst the 3 youngest in the class. I was 25 when I got into the program. The
Most
median
people are
age.
doing that like
The
like
38
second
was
act
like,
in their career.
Right. And so for me, it was a great learning experience to learn from established, business
Right, they had already been
professionals.
doing it.
Right.
So that helped you network, and that alumni network is
Tremendously.
probably just worth the cost of the executive
Absolutely.
MBA.
Hands down. I mean, just the Hands down. That's all I can say.
Right, because now you can call somebody up that went through it as well, and
Yeah.
they'll take your call.
Right. And a lot of the deals that I'm getting for some of my clients are through my previous classmates.
So now, as part of your marketing, do you have plans like to write a book or do some thought leadership like that?
Yeah.
You mentioned speaking.
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a conference coming up in November. So we're working out the details of that, as well as we're going to do an event in September and also in October that's going to lead up to that conference where we're going to bring some of our partners in. And then at that big event in November, we'll have all our partners there. And then also a book, we've been looking into that for sometime next year.
As thought leadership for the brand? Or you as you're trying to brand yourself individually?
More so for the business because, for instance, we're putting out a lot of video content teaching things. So I'm going to have, our tech guy. He's going to be putting out tech videos. Our intern's going to be putting out more of those foundational business type videos.
Right.
So we're getting the entire team involved. So it's not just me out there. It's our entire team speaking and putting out videos showing we have, true substance with what we're doing.
Now, maybe you can share some ideas on how to onboard an intern and how to get the most out of them because they're young, right?
Yes,
A lot of
yes.
energy and enthusiasm. How do you kind of wrangle that energy and point them in the direction that serves you and your firm?
Absolutely. So I first started managing interns. I believe I was 22, working with another startup. I had 5 interns from the University of Georgia, so it was a good experience there. But what I found is that by being hands-on initially, and then also with them being millennials and me being millennial, we kind of can relate. So essentially, I just say, this is your world. This is your platform. Do what it is you want to do and create what you want to create. And our intern, his name's Miko. He's been amazing. So
you give him a lot of autonomy.
A ton.
But then how do you give him feedback on how he's doing? Do more of this, less of that?
Yes. So, even something from the meeting notes, he took tremendous notes. I'm like, okay, these notes are detailed. Let's kind of make it more high level. And within an instant, he had them perfect.
And then how do you leverage the intern in your business? So he's helping with social media and that, but is he helping clients as well?
Yeah, so clients. So he's a graduate of Kennesaw State University, and what we've realized, I'm like, okay, let's make sure that we're giving you work that's relevant to you. So, we have executive assistant, so I let him do some of those tasks so he can get familiar with them, just to know him as a business leader. Now we've passed him off, so we're starting to slowly take tasks away and get him more client-facing, essentially.
So now for you, what do you need more of?
I need more business owners that are ready to learn and ready to start their businesses if they have ideas.
So if you have in the back of your mind this dream of, hey, this might be something, that's a good spot to have a conversation with you.
Absolutely. If they are ready to make that investment in themselves, what we say is essentially we can come in and replace an entire FTE, for a fraction of the cost. You could pay us $5,000 in a year versus hiring a full-time employee for $40,000 and get, a higher level of service.
And then the way that you start is with some sort of an assessment to kind of see where they're at.
Yeah. And then we have our own internal grading system, I guess, and we have an entrepreneur stage, a startup stage, and then a small business stage. We tell them where they are, and then based off of that, we give the recommendations as to what it is we can help them with.
And then what the next steps are.
Absolutely.
So even at the end of this, just going through that process, they'll have some actionable plan.
They will, yeah. And that's why we charge for the consultation, because we give actionable stuff. We feel like the content is free, the execution is the hard part.
Right.
So that's why we just say, okay, we'll give it to you, but you have to execute it.
Right. And then they can execute it themselves, or they can hire you to help them execute it.
Right. And that's what's happened 90% of the time. They come back. I'd say almost all of the clients we've had have been repeat clients because they said, okay, we know you can execute it. We liked how you did this and that. It may have taken us 3 months to get you back, but hey, we're back and we're ready.
And then these people that are a good fit for you, they've been a combination of startups with an idea. They could be young, they could be in college and have some buddies, and that's a good fit. Or it could be that person within the back of their head, they say, hey, I got this dream that I'd like to make happen.
Absolutely. Those are that sweet spot for us. And like I said, we can help with the funding. A lot of businesses feel they need funding, so we are able to talk them out of that because a lot of times they don't need the funding at the time that they think they do. So, we were able to say, okay, these are the resources you need as opposed to the funding that you think you need. And then this is how, you'll get to the point of needing funding.
So now, if somebody wants to learn more, what's the best way to have that first conversation with you?
Absolutely. So you can check out our website. It's thehight, HIGHT, effect.com, or you can contact us. Best way is contact@theheighteffect.com, and those emails will get routed to me.
And then you're active on Twitter, LinkedIn. They can find you anywhere, right?
Yeah, anywhere. Yeah, it's at Terrence Hight Jr. and that's TERRENCEHIGHT That's Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story today.
All right. Thank you.
All right. This is Lee Cantor For Katie Galley, we'll see you all next time on High Velocity Radio.